Okay, guys, I decided that today I was gonna change the oil on the bike, and I did. It was a little tricky. I didn't want to bring it down from the trailer, so what I did, I pushed the trailer forward, brought the gate down, loosened the straps, and used my high lift jack. Hooked it up here, and click, 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 because I couldn't fit. I couldn't fit under there. My chest was touching it. And I said, no, it's too tight. And I had to get to that oil plug, and that oil plug was very hard. I had to use my impact gun. Couldn't do it with a ratchet, with a hand ratchet. So got it done, changed the filter, changed the oil, and now I'm just giving it a little dusting because it's been sitting here collecting dust. And there's a good possibility that I'm going to use it this year. And I want it looking good. And I'm kicking around an idea that it's still an idea. And the idea is to get rid of the trailer and buy a toy hauler that'll fit. But I can't have a toy hauler here that it goes beyond the garage because the city will tell get it out. So the idea is to get a small one, and I've been looking at 14 footers, and there's one called the Moxie. It's a little bit on the small side, but and then you can't stand up on it. You can't stand up inside. So I'm going, and then immediately my wife says, "Oh, there's no bathroom." She's always looking for something with a toilet. And I said, "Listen, I don't, when I go hunting, I take wipes and I clean myself and I feel fresh, and that's fine. I don't need a shower when you're going hunting. But yeah, if you're going to use it for camping, and you have to make it comfortable for the women too, like the country folk says, for the women folk." And so there's a few, but then they start getting bigger. When you start adding all this extra stuff, they start getting bigger. So I found one by GeoPro that it doesn't look too bad. It looks decent, So there's two kinds. There's one that has the kitchen at the end, which is a little thing like this, boxy, and then you got the bathroom on the opposite side, and it looks kind of, and it's got two sofas. What do I need two sofas for? The one I like is the one that has the bed at the end. And the one with the bed at the end has the kitchen cabinet alongside from the opening to the bathroom. And that one seems to be, but these things are not cheap anymore. They used to pick them up for 22, something like that. Now they're going for 30, 36. So everything going up. Okay, get this out of here. So the idea is not only to have a toy hauler. The idea is to have a toy inside the trailer, parked outside, and that will give me room in the garage to rearrange things and possibly bring a car in here, because this garage is crowded. So, oh shit, that oil? Yeah, there's oil on the bottom there. Gotta clean that. So that's what I'm kicking around, and we'll see what's going on, because I'm always I don't like to buy stuff that I'm not going to be used all the time. If I'm going to be using it a couple of times a year, there's no point in buying something for 30 grand and let it sit there. It's more like if you retired, then you can use it more. You know, you can go fishing, you can go hunting, you can go camping, like that. So that, you know, I just kind of, because if I do that also, there's going to be another major change. If I do have the toy hauler that I can pull with the Avalanche, which is a four-wheel drive, and it's very comfortable. It's got a good motor. Then I won't need old Blanco. Big Blanco, I could sell it and make room for the toy hauler. So then when we get to some place we camp, bring out the toy, if we're gonna be using it, park it outside, and then when we're gonna go ready for a ride, hop on it, you know, or if I'm hunting, I'll just have it outside. I don't need to have it inside when I'm sleeping. I mean, it's gonna be in the way of the cooking and the accommodations. You know, it's got a little sofa. You can sit there with a cup of coffee with the door open and enjoy the view. You know, that sort of thing. And the GeoPro fits the bill. The only thing is, I'm gonna have to write to the dealer and find out what is the opening between the door jamb and the cabinet, because it looks kind of tight, and the width on this is 44 inches exactly. If it's 40, it won't go. And that's the issue. I went to another dealer in Ontario and we started taking measurements, and it would fit width-wise, but not length-wise. It will bump into the cabinet and it will be sticking out maybe an inch, and I said the door's going to hit this rear piece, and it's going to be rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and pretty soon you have a hole on your door. So we didn't get that either, but that one looked comfortable. It was a what do you call it, Wolf Pup model, and I liked it. It had a lot of storage, and it's pretty hard to find a trailer or a toy hauler with all the conveniences, because you know when you're going hunting, you're taking a lot of gear, and I always wanted a trailer with plenty of room for my gear. You know, the boots, the closets, the closets for the boots and the rifles, and you know, I don't want to be moving one bag to the other, and then move it over here, and then move it over there, and it's a hassle. It's a hassle. Okay, I still gotta put this cover. I'm gonna clean it too. That goes right there. So, and then you have to figure out if I'm gonna hunt that spot. That's what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to drive up to Sacramento 2 trips and spend, you know. But there's deer. I went there one time. We went to we did this trip up to 395. We took the 4 highway, Calaveras County, I think it was called. We crossed it, and we did see deer. I saw a 6-pointer late in the afternoon with a 4-pointer, and I think it might have been no, there were 2 bucks. 2 bucks late in the afternoon, almost dark, and they just stood there, and you know, they had velvet even, so that would have been good for the archery. And there is deer up there, but it's such a long trip for an experimentation. It's worth, you know, if it's worth the expense, because like I said, if you're gonna have it sitting here for just a few days, in camping just for a few days, and then it's gonna sit here for a whole year. That's what's going on with Big Blanco, but Big Blanco is paid for. You know, I don't have to worry about, but when you buy something and let's say you put a few thousands down, you're gonna have a payment of $400 or something, and it's gonna be sitting there all the time. You know, that's the issue. Expense versus usage. Let me see if I can get something to drink because I'm thirsty here. Open this fridge here. What do we got? Cocoa water. Hey. These are very, if it's a real thing, it's very good for your, what is it? Kidney? Oh, I'm all dirty from getting under there. And then I'm going to run and make sure that the oil is circulating. So I've been kicking that idea around for a while because the quad, it's taking up room in the garage. It doesn't bother me really, but it is kind of cramped with, I got my work table, I got the other work table, everything is pretty much covered up with stuff. The only car I can fit here is going to be the G, because I have this supply rack with water and stuff, and some things for the kitchen and toilet paper, just a bunch of odds and ends. And if I put the quad in, another thing is that also is going to help. Not only can I put the quad inside the toy hauler, I can put all those backpacks in all the rifle scabbards, and I can use it as a storage. Now, if I do that, the GeoPro is on the small side. It's not going to be the best way to go. Then you have to go wider. I don't like the 8-footers. I just don't like the 8-footers. You're hauling a house. I don't understand those people going down the freeway hauling a gooseneck trailer 30, 40 feet long. It looks like a train. This thing got pulp and everything. So right now the combo that I have is good. It's not the most comfortable one. Take the quad and I can ride around with a quad where I can. Some places you can't. And I was even thinking of getting a side-by-side, a small mule that I can load up on a toy hauler, but then the GeoPro doesn't, it's not going to work for that. That's too tiny for a side-by-side. So there's a bunch. There's an enormous amount of different designs and different things. Now there's a dealer in Mesa, Arizona, Dunes Sports, I think it's called. They say that they make the trailer custom to your order. So I can design the trailer the way I want it and talk to them and to see if they can make one that it'll fit my needs, because I need storage space. I need places to put things. And then they have the one that they got a good setup with sofa, and then it converts. It moves out of the way. The bedroom, the bed comes down from the ceiling electronically, and then you climb up with the ladder. Now the missus, she doesn't like that setup. She likes the bed already there at the beginning of the trailer, and then the rest of it, So, but we seen, there was one time we were for a solid year looking almost, I would say 4 times a week at least, looking and looking and looking and looking and looking, and then we will go to dealers and then look at them and go inside and sit down and see how it fits and da da da, and take the measurements of the quad and go over the measurements and see if it fits in this one, see if it fits in the other one. We went crazy, and I said, you know what, enough. Let's just stop because we're going nuts. I want something that I can take the dirt roads. And there's a lot of hunting camps you go, and they have their base trailer, travel trailer. They're taking motorcycles in the back of the pickup, and they go and they park to get the motorcycles out, or electric bikes, and they drive around with the electric bikes. And some of them go hunting with electric bikes, with e-bikes. That's another thing. So there's many ways of doing it. Another thing I was kicking around for a while that I almost pulled the trigger on it was buy a cargo trailer and build it. But man, who has the time to be building? You know, you gotta make the cabinets, you gotta insulate the walls, you gotta insulate the ceilings, you gotta paint it, you gotta do that. Say forget about it. It's a lot of work. You probably save money. You do save money in the long run, but man, talk about, it's a lot of working by myself. If I had a couple of buddies, yeah, we could have put it together, you know, in a few weeks with the right, buy the cabinets made or make the cabinets, it's just different ways of doing it. And I was thinking of doing that, and also putting on my backpacks and all my hunting gear and a lot of things that they're clogging the garage. I can put it in the trailer. And when you go hunting, all you have to do is bring out the rifles, toss them in there, hook it up, and go. Everything is in there. The food is there, the water is there, propane is there, everything is there. Your quad, your hunting clothing, your closet is full of your boots and everything, your knives, everything is in one place. When I go hunting, I have to load and unload Big Blanco. I don't leave the stuff inside. I bring it in, put it away. I don't, I think right now what I have in the pop-up camper, what I have is the bag of clothing and a couple of pair of boots, but most of my stuff is in the closet here. So, and then you start getting bigger and bigger because you want to fit more stuff, and then you're hauling a monster, and I don't like that. I want something light, something maneuverable, high off the ground. That's, so we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna finish up putting up that cap on the engine there and closing it up and pushing it back in the garage, and kind of organize a little bit here if I can. All right, guys, see you on the next one. So bike is done. Check that off my bucket list. All right. Okay, so I changed the oil yesterday, and I want to see if I can start it. I don't know how the battery is. Ow. Okay, that's enough. Whew. Okay, so that gives it circulated the new oil in the engine and go through the filter, because the filter is completely dry. So I just wanted to see if it, and it has to warm up, so then I can turn down the choke and then use the accelerator, but it needs more time for that. So, or maybe the gas is dirty. I gotta put an additive. And also, whew, the fumes. Also, I went and bought a new grip for my 45. This thing is so comfortable. The finger grooves right there, really comfortable. So let me put this on. So when I go hunting, which by the way, I'm not going to, I won't be able to go to X10 because I missed the deadline. I'm gonna wear this with the pack on it, and then have this handy just in case. There has been a few cases of mountain lions showing up on a trail and just waiting for you to pass so they can pounce on you, or even bears. There's a trail up here in the Santa Monica Mountains, and there was a girl walking, and these are hikers that they don't think, they think the hike is, the trail is for them. No, animals use the trail. So there was a girl walking on this path, pretty wide path, and when she turns around the corner, there are two giant bears just about to turn the corner into her, and she starts backing up, and she doesn't know, so she's going, you know. I don't think you're gonna scare a bear by just growling like a bear or anything. You better have the spray can just to deter it, because that bear, it was fat, huge. They can still run, you know, but if you don't have a gun, you have the little, I mean, the only thing you have left is the spray can. Just kind of spray so they can kind of smell it and walk away. Don't try to hit them right at the face, because that could piss them off. And then back out, back out, back up, and get out. Don't turn around and run, because that'll activate the chase. And there's a lot of hikers that they don't know what to do. There was another video that some guys, hikers again, with no guns or anything, they were walking on this trail, and then there's a mountain lion on the rock just doing this and waiting for them to pass. Pretty sure as soon as they pass by them, it's going to come from behind and grab you by the neck. That's what they do. They grab you by the neck and try to, you know, or grab you by the throat and try to choke you. And since they don't have nothing to protect themselves, you're going to hit them with a stick. Stick is not going to do it. See, I can sit with this in the vehicle also and drive. Very comfortable. It's a little tight on my stomach. So anyways, I was looking yesterday at videos and trying to find a new place, you know. I mean, D8, I've hunted that area, you know. There's still a few spots I haven't gone, but it's not going to change because of the amount of trees, and I'm not in the shape I used to, that I used to climb like a goat, and I'm not going to go through an area that there's no deer. The deer are really either super high or super low. So I started looking at videos, and I found a place up north that in the archery, some people are shooting the deer from the road. I'm going, wait a minute, where the hell is that? That the bucks are right there, just laying by the road, and the guy gets off and walks, and he's throwing arrows. So I said, well, let me see, you know. And then I looked it up on Google Earth, and it's above Sacramento. That's a long way. That's a long way. That's a lot of gas, extra expense. Um, the forest looks the same. It's thick, heavy, with downfall and everything. But there is deer. At least you know there's deer there because a lot of people have been catching deer. They're not the biggest deer, but there's bucks, 4 pointers, 6 pointers. So I was considering on applying instead of getting D8. I think that would be D. That would probably be D5, maybe D6. I gotta find out. But I don't know that area. I went to D6 long time ago. Don't know the area. Don't know where the campgrounds are. Don't know where I could park if I take the quad. Now that the quad is ready, I want to use it. Don't want to have just sitting here. I want to take it with me and use it, but I don't know if there's any trails I can use. And there are some campgrounds, but I don't know where the campgrounds are. That means I will have to do a scouting trip, and that's another expense to go up there by myself and just randomly walk around and find this and find that. And there is an advantage on knowing the terrain. There's an advantage on knowing your hunting area before the hunting opens. You're not going to go there on the first day and then, walk around in the dark. You don't even know where the hell you are. Now you gotta know the area. You gotta know the spot and where you're gonna sit. If you're gonna have a view, there's some beautiful areas out there. Beautiful areas. I mean, wide open, and it's a good hunting area. So the only guy that been talking about hunting is this guy that I know, but he is not in shape at all. He is way overweight. But at least he can go just for the trip, and we can sit and talk and have a drink and have some food just for the company. I've known this guy for the longest time, good friend, and we can just walk the easy spots. I'm not going down a freaking cliff or anything like that. I seen some of this guy climbing down and say, okay, you're climbing down, how you gonna come up? Did you bring a rope? Because it's steep, but those guys got the legs, they're young. I know my limitations. I am not going to overdo it. Roll down the mountain, break a leg by myself, and then I'm stuck. Nobody knows where I'm at. Don't want to go through that scenario. You got to be realistic. So, I don't know. Back to D8. There's a couple of places that I might go check out. Maybe I'll do a little scouting there, even though I don't really need to. I know the area. But yeah, the X10 that I really wanted to go, I just missed it because being busy with stuff and spending time on the boat, spending time here doing things, and spending time taking my mother to clinics and the hospitals, and you just lose track of time, and then I missed the deadline. I think I even got a message from Fish and Game saying, "Hey, it's time to apply." I looked at it, didn't really read it. I get hundreds of these things, and I just delete everything. I'm tired of getting all these messages from companies trying to sell you pills and vacations and all kinds of stuff, and I just don't read that stuff. I just delete it. And I think I deleted the reminder from the Fish and Game. So I blew it. So for the guy that asked me if I was going to hunt the X10, no, I won't be there. I'm going to go to D8. And I think I'm going to go to that spot that I did before. It's easy walking. If you do get a deer, it's easy to, it's better, easier to drag there than going down the mountain. It's pretty, it's level. I'm not going to say it's flat, but it's level. So that's the deal. Um, Trying to see in my mind if I there's another spot that there's another spot that I went there once, and a friend of mine went with me, and I said, okay, I'm gonna be going over there. You stay here and hide. And he sat in front of this rock, and he said that, you know, like an hour later, he heard a snort behind him, behind the rock. The deer probably smelled him and went, like they do. They snort, and he got up and started looking around, but he didn't see the deer. The deer already took off. Well, it turns out that there's a path back there, so I might check that area. It's not that bad, and it also depends on the weather. The opening is going to be later in September instead of mid-September. It's going to be like 2 weeks after, I believe, or a week and a half after. I got to double check on the date. I think it's the 27th or 28th, something like that. So the weather might be a little colder, and the deer could move, and. So we'll see. But the thing is that none of these spots have the visibility that I would like to have to sit and glass a hill. So basically, you're sitting in a spot with your rifle and you're looking at trees from 40 to 60 yards. Maybe you get to see 100 yards, maybe. And so you're hunting that. You can't see beyond that. It's so thick. If you see a little movement behind a tree way out there, that deer is going to disappear in the trees. And if you start, trying to aim and find it, it's happened, but it's not the ideal situation for a shot. You need to have an open area and see the hills across the way. And if anything moving, anything, deer feeding, grazing the hill, you can see it and you can study it and say, okay, is that a forky, or is that a good sized deer, etc. And then you can say, okay, I'm gonna go after that, and then you do your maneuver. You want to go through you want to skirt the forest, or you want to do it the other way. Okay, so, but you need to see it. You need to see something there. But these forests are way overgrown, way overgrown. Uh, there's another spot that it's gotten deer. I know some people that gotten deer there. Problem is that it's like this. So I got a friend that he says he's younger than me. He's about 15 years younger. And he says, I'm not hunting downhill no more. And I say, why is that? He goes, because if you kill a deer, you got to pull it up to the truck. And he says, it's a killer. And so he says he's going to hunt up. So if he does get something, it's easy to drag down. And that's a good strategy. If you use that strategy, it'll be easier on your legs. So I think I'll be doing that. So there's a spot I know that I've been there, and I think I'm gonna hunt the little knoll, that little area. Just climb up to the crest and just kind of skirt that and go up there, boom, 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 and then see if you bump up, because deer like to hide when there's pressure. Deer like to hide high above or way below. And back there, when you say way below, you're looking down at a pit. It's 1,000 yards, down there. No, forget it. It's gonna be, not even when I was young, I would do that. So that's the idea. And then I'm gonna take the quad, because there's a big uh, cul-de-sac at the end of the trail. So you go on this dirt road, which is a little tight, but I've done it with the Big Blanco. And when you get to the end, there's a big circle, so I can go in and do a half a turn, give me enough room in the back so I can lower the gate, unload the bike, and use it. So that would be the spot, because the previous spot that I was mentioning has the area that I can park and load the bike, but there's nowhere to ride it to hunt that area. There's a road that goes out, and then you go to different roads, and I've done all that, and there's no deer. Um, if there is, I haven't seen one. So that area is pretty much. I go there because that was one of the first spots I found when I went up there in the '80s, and it's a nice spot. It's got a nice view for camping. It's perfect, but for hunting, and now a lot of people have found it, and there's a lot of pressure. A lot of people moving up there and going in and out. So I'm gonna go to the cul-de-sac spot, camp there, and adjacent to that, there's a finger. On the other side of that finger, there's another spot where a lot of these guys go and camp there and hunt, and they have gotten deer there. So I'm hoping that their pressure is pushing the deer up to me. That's what I'm hoping for, because I cannot compete with these guys that they're they're stronger, they're younger, and they can go down there. And if they kill a deer, then they haul it up. These guys are short, stubby, concentrated power. I'm a little taller, a little older. So it's easier for somebody that's shorter to just drag this thing like a tractor up the hill. And there's always two or three of them in a group. So I'm competing against that, and I can't compete unless somebody else comes with me that is in the same condition, younger, etc. So it's too long of a trip to just go see and scout. There's also some lakes up in that area that I never fished. Um, Maybe I could do a combo and do a fishing scouting trip with my wife, but she doesn't get the days off. I mean, right now it's 4th of July coming up, and um, it's too far just to go for 2 days. She's got to be back to work on Monday, so it's not feasible. So we'll see. I'm still gonna get everything prepared. The bike is ready. I'm checking the tires and air them up and clean them up a little bit. Need to run a little bit more, and we'll see what's up. When I go, I'm gonna go like 2 days earlier to really make sure I can get my spot, because it's getting crowded up in that area. And the reason being is that it's the closest forest area to LA. From LA, you're not gonna get people beyond the eight, because of the distance and the expense, the way things are now. A lot of people are going there from LA and from Bakersfield and from the nearby towns, in the desert. It's getting, you go up that road and it's a caravan of vehicles. I also gonna go and take my two long range rifles to the range and sight them in, because I'm not haven't shot the 7 mag in quite a while, and also the 270. I got plenty of loaded ammo, but I have to go shoot them. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I got some things to do still. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.